and welcome to Hard Copy, coming to you from our studios in Abuja. I'm Maokpe Ogun Yusuf. For the last 1 week has thrown up issues that have had Nigerians impassioned and very vocal, especially as they've touched on areas which the Nigerian society is still largely conservative on. The first was an accusation of rape against a popular pastor based in Abuja. He was accused by a celebrity photographer who is also the wife of a music star. That accusation led to protests. Now, Nigerians are no strangers to protests, but when it comes to places of worship, this idea was totally novel. The protest yielded fruit, anyway, as the pastor involved stepped down as lead pastor of his church. Now, while people were still trying to keep the embers alight on the issue of rape, yet another video surfaced, this time of a sitting senator in the upper chamber who was caught on camera physically assaulting a lady whose only offense, according to the tape we saw, was intervening in what seemed like a situation that was going to degenerate anyway. In all of these matters, one gender has been at the receiving end, the female gender. So tonight on Hard Copy, we throw up these matters, asking which way forward for women and girls in a country where men and women's rights are largely unequal. My guests tonight are two very distinguished women. Esther Uzoma is a lawyer and national coordinator of the Proactive Gender Initiatives. Welcome to Hard Copy.
Thank you very much.
And we also have with us Ebere Ifendu, who is also a lawyer, a chartered mediator, and the president of Women in Politics Forum. You're welcome to Hard Copy.
Thank you.
Now, these issues, ladies, when it came to limelight, when you saw it, what hit you immediately? Let me start with you.
All right. First of all, I was appalled. In my line of work, it's commonplace. But I was appalled and surprised. Why? Because now we have a young, I think he's the youngest senator, brazenly, in a very vulgar manner, committing assault on a woman. And then all the trainings I've ever, I've had as a lawyer, everything inside me, that fights for human rights, I was extremely convoluted. And after that, why not? We set up the necessary protocol to take care of the excesses of this particular senator. And beyond that, it just occurred to me that truly this is a moment, offers Nigerian women an opportunity, to right a lot of wrongs. Just like you said in your opening, in the same, just within the same short period, these things are happening. What is going on? This is our Rosa Parks moment. This is our Eureka moment. This is the time women, despite religion, class, were saying, listen, enough.
What was your reaction? I mean, how did all of these issues come to the fore for you?
Initially, when I watched the video, it was a huge shock to me.
Which one of the videos?
The assault,
okay,
on a young girl. And I was wondering, I said, can this be coming from a senator? Because you will understand if it's coming from somebody that is not up there, maybe lower people in the society, then you will, have this impression that, oh, this person maybe do not even understand what he's doing. But coming from a senator, I mean, I was very shocked. And I made some calls to even ascertain that truly, that the guy we are watching is a senator. And it turned out, yes, the youngest senator. And this is an indictment on not too young to run. We are talking about young men and women coming out, to hold good positions in the society. And then few people that we got elected, and this is what we are getting from one of them. I mean, it's an embarrassment.
I agree.
And then going back to the rape issue, that was also something that was difficult for me to comprehend. I mean, you run to the house of God, as it were, to get, shield and protection from, your pastor, somebody who is, occupying that kind of position in your life. And then in that place, a holy place, you're being, abused again. So I'm asking myself, so as women, where do we run to? If we can't get it right with people in authority, political authority, religious authority. This is, you know, a huge shock to me. And I think that this is the time for us, you know, to rise up as women, to talk about it. Because there are so many women that got raped, but are not able to speak up, because the society will not give them the opportunity to do that. So this is the time for them to come up to speak. Because this time we have, you know, decided that we are going to support, you know, each of that, exactly. If we have anyone that's been raped and you know the person that raped you, this is the time for you to speak up. The society now, they are open. They want to hear. They want to listen to us. This is the time to get some of these things right. Yeah,
but beyond speaking up, I mean, what else should we be asking for? We have seen as a result of Mrs. Dakolo's for lack of a better phrase now, confessions.
Yes.
You know, we have seen that since that time, there have been many more coming up to say, this happened to me and that happened to me. What should we be getting out of this? I mean, what should the reaction of society be to this? Yes. It can't be just to discuss it, can it?
Then that is it.
Let me start with the barrier.
All right. Yes. It's not just going to be to discuss it. For me, I would say that the law should take its course. We have to, you know, arraign and prosecute these people. It's very important. And why am I saying this? It will serve as a deterrent to other people. You understand me? Because if we don't do this, it will continue to happen. And then there will be this system of people not speaking up, or because the society, of course, will judge you. Like they are doing to Mrs. Dakolo. Some people are asking questions about why is she just talking about it now? Something that happened 20 years ago. Nobody is trying to even put, you know, themselves in her shoes. Because for a rape victim, it's really not an easy thing for you to talk about. I mean, because considering the society will attack you, and that's what they are doing. So, but very few of us really understand the pain the woman is going through. And it's important for us to appreciate her for even coming up now to do it. And on the part of the pastor, I'm not judging him. I'm not in a position to judge him. And that's why I said, can the matter please go to court? Let the court take a decision on what actually transpired. Because if we're waiting for him to come up now, you know, he may just not be able to do that. Yes, he stepped aside. And like the senator too that apologized. And I'm saying it is not enough. Yes, we have forgiven as normal people, as Christians, like they will tell us, as people who believe in the book. Yes, we have forgiven. But it's not enough for us just to forgive. We need to have a complete closure. And having a complete closure is when the court take a decision on it.
Esther, you are no stranger to the law courts.
No, not at all.
And you know just how difficult cases of rape are. I mean, I think it's Amnesty International who says that we have only 10% conviction rate in Nigeria of cases that actually get to court. That's just how difficult it is to prove a rape case. Not now talk of one that happened 20 years ago.
Yes, you see, when we look up to the law for salvation, when we look up to the law to be assuaged of perceived injustices, there are a lot of things we're forgetting. The law is about power. The law is about power. You see, what does it take? Get an army of learned people, hungry for justice. They will get, it's about what you present. And it's not cheap. You see, it's not cheap. So the salvation we seek, actually, we will find, for instance, the closure that the victims need will come from the validation of the society, will come from building a very strong support sisters base. Like, sister, I feel your pain.
Exactly.
Okay? The statistics of Amnesty is very, very correct. It's not easy. Because for you to get such convictions, it has to be timeless. All right? That probability of and all that, oh, it was consensual, oh, it was not consensual, all that will be taken into consideration. Frankly, if you look to the law, there is no salvation in it. But it is always necessary, you know, to speak out, number one. Mass action is always necessary. For instance, these individuals have been brought to the court of public opinion and condemned. For instance, the gentleman that went to the toy shop, society has judged him and condemned him. What greater judgment is that? Others, perhaps, you might be assuaged by cost. You might persuade the court that, listen, I suffered so much injury. By the way, his actions against this woman, if we stretch it jurisprudentially, believe me, when that senator slapped that girl, he slapped every woman in Nigeria.
That's right.
He slapped every nursing mother. So that is the outrage, okay? And then it's not, maybe you can persuade them, you know, to compound the offense. But then again, there are other causes of action from that singular, and then, of course, we'll bring it to the courts of law.
So yes. you think that it's going to move beyond that? Let us look at the issue, because some people now say that these issues, you know, throw up again. I don't know if it does for you. Gender rights, gender equality in Nigeria. Now, we have seen how this bill has gone through the National Assembly. I mean, from the time that Senator Chris Anyanwu raised it in 2011, we also saw attempts in the 8th Senate through Senator Olujimi to bring it back up again. We saw the reluctance. I mean, we saw how it was thrown out in the first time, and then she was asked to bring it back up again. You know, I think 5 months after or so, it went back again. Now, you know,
here we are.
It's still not been passed. Do you think that it would have made any effect whatsoever, assuming this bill was passed?
Well, frankly, we do not lack laws.
Exactly.
Let's look at the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act, a fantastic piece of legislation. That act, for the first time ever, envisages that a woman can also rape. Under the penal code says, listen, rape, a man is said to commit rape when... But the Violence Against Persons Act says, listen, a person commits rape when he or she... It's a fantastic legislation. And if you look at subsection 2 of section 1, do you know that that act actually says, listen, if a rape offender, if an offender is under 14 years of age, you give him 14 years imprisonment, not life imprisonment. Meanwhile, under the penal code, a boy of 14 cannot, it's inconceivable. So listen, from 7 to 12 is incapable of committing an offense. Talking about criminal responsibility. But the VAP Act says, so we have laws, and it talks about assault. Okay, when you threaten somebody, when you beat somebody, we have a body of law that can take care of it. Particularly this VAP Act, which allows public interest litigation, like the one we are preparing for the senator.
Yes.
That is our locus. It's beyond what he did to... Listen, the Nigerian women are saying, we have a locus on this, your act, and we'll take it up and we'll join the National Assembly.
Exactly.
Okay? So, yes, that's gender and equal opportunities bill would have made a huge difference. But we're in a comfortable place right now with the VAP Act, you know, vis-a-vis the action of this senator that went to purchase some goods to perhaps help himself in a certain area.
Now, I'm just wondering, you know, Madam Iberi, let us look at moving forward. Well, before we move forward, religious biases, religious... you have seen some of the reactions that we have seen in recent times. How do we begin to address this? You know that we are a heavily religious society. Some people felt, oh, this was an attack on the house of God. Some people felt, oh, you also saw the senator when he was apologizing there. He apologizes to the body of Christ, the church, and then he becomes very emotional in that. We're largely religious, you know, society. How do we address these issues in the face of religion? That also says that, you know, that defines largely the role of women in society.
Well, it's important for us to understand that this is not against any religion. It's not against the body of Christ that they like some people used to say. It's an individual misconduct, and we have to look at it that way. Because if we want to talk about religion and culture, are we saying that because a particular religion is involved, then we should not talk about it? It's not right. For me, you know, I will even think that for you to even belong to the Christendom, it's, you know, something for you to live above board. If you have to follow what is in the Bible.
I'm going to have to interrupt you.
Yes.
We'll take a moment now. When we return, we'll also be talking about women in government. I mean, women have been asking for 35% affirmative action. Would that have solved or helped solve issues like this? In a moment, please stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching Hard Copy, coming to you from our studios in Abuja. Tonight, we're playing back on the issues of rape and gender-based violence as thrown up by the videos which surfaced online in the last 1 week. My guest, Esther Uzoma, who is a lawyer and activist. She's also the national coordinator of the Proactive Gender Initiatives, and Ebere Ifendo, who's also a lawyer and chartered mediator and chairperson of Women in Politics Forum. Well, just before we went on break, you were talking about acting within a religious context. I think that's what we're talking about. Yes. But I also want you to add to it, because you have been championing for more women in politics, more women in governance. Yeah. Would that have made any difference to the issues that we're looking at today?
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's no way to even discuss it, because that is a fact. Okay, because if you look at governance, look at the Senate, for example, with just 7 women out of 109 men. And you can see that...
Are they up to 7 now? I think they're about 6. They're up to 7?
Yes, 7 women, yes, out of 109 men. So you can see the disparity. And then if we're looking at laws, like you talked about gender and equal opportunities, because we don't have the numbers. That's why we are yet to get it passed.
Do we really need more women to pass a bill such as that?
Isn't it
needing more men to just see that this would also benefit
But the men are refusing to see with us. Well? Exactly. I mean, when it comes to their daughters, number one, like the senators are relaxed now. Talking about, the senator that slapped a young woman. No senator will tolerate it when it gets very close to them. Like a senator's daughter, you will see them react in a different way. So they still see us as outsiders. They don't see us as part of them. So when we are talking about issues concerning women, I mean, it's like, oh, where are they coming from? What are they talking about? But when it gets closer to them, you will see them react.
What about women What about women?
That's when the men will come up. But for the women, now, the few of them, what can they do, really? Because they will talk, they will, but I'm happy that the committee that they set up will have somebody like Senator Remi Tinubu and Sela Odua also. And I know that Remi Tinubu is not somebody who will want to allow some of these things to be swept under the carpet. So we are counting on her as a woman, to, show that this is the right time, to call a spade, and not just say that this man is a senator, because let me even go back to his apologies. The man lied. And this is to tell you that he's not sincere.
You have proof to that?
Yes, we do have. We have a case of a photojournalist that he also attacked.
Directly?
And another woman again.
He attacked her directly?
Yes.
Another woman, yes. And the matter was actually reported. It was taken to the police station, Utako police station. It's on record there. So for him to, come out, we have to remind him.
Let's remind him.
So what he did was just, for the, how do I put it? Just,
paparazzi.
Paparazzi.
Oh, exactly. You said we have forgiven him. That was what
we have
said.
Not. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
You said you forgive him, but he should go to the court.
That's what we are saying. So all these matters, previous issues will come up to tell the public that he just did not apologize. He wanted to save his face as a senator. And we are saying no. Because if you want to, really apologize, you will not lie. You will come up openly.
Let me take you up on this one. You said the laws are sufficient. The laws as we have them right now are sufficient. But we should have people under the law, people who are protecting us under the law. Can women really run to the police? Because when you talked about these issues, this woman who was assaulted by the senator was assaulted, from what we hear, in May this year. First and foremost, you have to ask about accessibility of the law enforcement agencies when it comes to matters like this. And then also women groups. For instance, if this video had not surfaced, it would have been very difficult for this woman to be able to get any form of justice.
That's right.
In this regard.
That's right.
Because, I don't know, women groups, shouldn't we also be doing more? But let's talk about the police first.
Yes. I'll have to say one thing very clearly. You see, this present Inspector General of Police, he appears as a no-nonsense man.
Yeah. And
I'll give him, this particular IG, we've worked with previous IGs, but you see this one, yes, I think he wants to do right.
Yeah.
All right? Now, having said that, it's not easy for a matter to get straight to the IG. You have to start with the local police where this thing happened. Okay? And now, imagine we live in an environment of extreme insecurity. And then a man who has like 5 policemen is threatening you. Who will you go to? You say, I am finished. You see. And that brings, again, one thing that is very, very essential. The beautiful role that the media plays in a democracy. if the media has not raised the voice and said, look at what is happening, perhaps I wouldn't have had it.
Exactly.
My sister wouldn't have had it, no matter how much good we want to do. And so, let's use this opportunity then to tell whoever is hurting, whoever is under any sort of, abuse. Yeah. People abuse their wives. Yes, there are women who are living in extremely... I've had, of course, okay, I had a matter. A man who, rapes his own daughter intermittently. Yeah. This woman is so ashamed. So there are voices. Proactive gender can help. Women in politics forums can help. But then, to work the law is not an easy thing. But the law works when you work it.
Exactly.
Okay? So first thing you must do, you have to speak out. Somebody else must hear yours. You must say it. Okay? And then this other process of working the law. Because when you write a petition, this is not America, where you just make a call and things start happening. Exactly. You write a petition, you follow up your petition. The police is underfunded. You provide funds perhaps to do one or two things. Invite the suspect. What about forensics? Yeah. All right? Even though there's a special unit that's been established that takes care of gender-based crimes. The FCT minister, the former minister, has a sexual and gender-based crime committee, technical committee. All that, you see, these beautiful things provided. First, okay, for instance, the victim has to be hearing us on TV now to know where to go. Is that also? Yeah. That it doesn't matter what the first policeman you meet might further abuse you. Okay? But then get somebody who can walk the process. Yes.
It looks like it's not very easy.
No.
I mean, it looks like something that is going to be really, really tough.
Yes.
Yeah. But, while you're looking for somewhere to speak, I mean, because you say that the person must first of all speak out. Yes. And I'm asking the role of the family. If the abuse is taking place in the family, for instance, what can one do? Because, even sometimes you go with these matters to the police and the police will say, this is a family matter. This is a domestic matter. Take it back home. In instances like that, what would you advise, women or girls or whoever it is that is concerned? It might be a man, because you never can tell. What do you advise them to do?
Yeah, you see, the problem with us is our family setting again, because if you take us back to the girl in Benue, Ochanya's case, the woman tried to cover up.
That's right.
So the problem is with the society, with the family.
She's a lady. Yeah, that one is a knight.
Oh, a lady and a knight. Okay. So we are bringing up religion again in this issue. So you see the problem. So, the society not giving us the opportunity to really come out to speak. Most times when you see some of these things, you try to cover up because you are ashamed. It's not easy for a woman to admit that, her husband has been, abusing a child under her care. You will see yourself as a failure. You will see yourself as somebody who's not been able to, protect a ward under your care. So that's what our major problem is. But we are saying that, look, beyond the family setting, you can go to a place like FIDA. You can, go to the police, because I am aware also that they have a gender desk now in every police establishment. And even within different government offices, you can also go there. There's the social welfare department also. So it's better for you to speak up. And then, the lawyers will hear, the gender activists will hear, and then people will come to give you support. But the major problem is when nobody is talking to us, what can we do?
Can we ask quickly, and this is going to be yes or no, would you say the attitudes are changing from the reaction that you have seen to these videos? Are attitudes changing?
Oh, tremendously.
Yeah. Tremendously?
Yes.
You agree as well? Yes. Oh, it's a fine place to leave it. I know this is a conversation that will keep going on and on, but we have to thank both of you for coming on Hard Copy tonight. I've been speaking with Madam Esther Uzoma, who is a lawyer and national coordinator of the Proactive Gender Initiatives, and Iberi Ifendu, who is also a lawyer, a chartered mediator, and president of Women in Politics Forum. That's the program tonight. Thank you for engaging with our platforms, and I'm sure you can see them on your screen. Do keep your messages coming in, and let us move this conversation forward. Many thanks for watching. I'm Maokwe Ogun Yusuf. Good night. Thanks for having us.